Another thing that's trying to change here, Matt, is definitely the Alabama defense the last 2 years. Not what Crimson Tide fans grew accustomed to. I know last year, 2019, you had some injuries that were involved there, but everybody or the bulk of the cupboard is back for the Crimson Tide. You have Pete Golding, who enters his third year overall in the program, but second year as the primary defensive coordinator. I talked about on Monday how fans should be able to trust this year's defense with the guys that are back with another year under Pete Golding's belt, so he kind of knows what to expect going into the upcoming season. Just for you, being a former player, how much do you trust this defense? How much do you trust Pete Golding entering the upcoming fall?
I trust him. I have a lot of confidence in the defense and the defensive staff. I think Coach Golden is going to, in his second year being a defensive coordinator, he's going to be that much better, know how to really talk to his guys. He's going to have more experienced players up under his belt. We also have the addition of Charlie Strong and Freddie Roach. So we have a lot of defensive minds, to really kind of help us have a dominant defense. You're going to have Dylan Mosley's back. He's going to kind of be the alpha male leader of the defense from the linebacker position, really get our guys lined up, really being the quarterback of the defense. And I think we just have a hungry group of guys and high character guys that are ready to go out there and prove a point and get us back to the promised land.
Well, folks, if you're just tuning in to the show, we got former Alabama wide receiver Matt Caddell, who played from 2003 to 2007 on the line, talking Crimson Tide football. And, Matt, you and I discussed before coming on here about, the top five most impactful defensive players. And impactful, we're looking at the production they can give, the leadership they can provide, the ability to communicate well, just a number of different things thrown into the pot of gumbo here. So I'm going to let you start off first. So starting off at number 5, your most impactful player defensively for Alabama.
My number 5 most impactful player is Jordan Battle. I think he's going to bring a lot of leadership experience in that back end of the secondary to really kind of mix up things, schemes, coverages, blitzes. I think he has so much potential to be an exceptional player going in his second year. I think he has great instincts, athleticism, and I think he's going to have a tremendous impact on our defense this year.
So you got Battle for your number 5. My number 5, I'm going with the secondary as well, but give me Daniel Wright. Older guy now, mature guy now, mind and body. He's learned from being around Deontay Thompson, being around Xavier McKinney, being around Ronnie Harrison. A lot of older guys that sort of taught him the ropes. He had an injury, early in his career that he's recovered from. I think it's now time for Daniel, who now looks like the Incredible Hulk by the chest. He is now ready to get out here and show that he can man down this secondary from one of the 2 safety spots. So 5, I got Daniel Wright. So who would be your number 4 here, Matt?
My number 4, I kind of have a tie. I think they just look a package deal. I have Christian Harris and Shane Lee. I just think, with them going through their...
You just couldn't separate them, could you?
I couldn't separate them because they came in together, they started together, due to injuries last year. I believe they bring a lot of versatility. I think that's really, we have all these minds put together on our defense. We can do so much defensively. Like we can have Christian probably be more the inside guy, but he's so athletic. He can play outside as well. Shane Lee is so versatile. So those 2 are my guys. I feel like that's going to have a lot of impact, a lot of momentum coming off their freshman year. I think they're going to be better students of the game, a lot more cerebral from film study, and really help us have an effective defense.
So you're playing good cop, so that means I have to be the bad cop. You couldn't separate them, Matt, so I did. Number 4, I'm going solely Christian Harris here. No offense to Shane Lee. The man is a fantastic young man, smooth player. But I look at Christian Harris. This is, to me, the next Reuben Foster in terms of his ability to shoot gaps, create a bunch of negative plays, stuff plays in the backfield, sack quarterbacks, create turnovers. This guy, to me, could be a more intellectual, more instinctive version of Reuben Foster on the field. So 4, I got Christian Harris. So we move on down to 3. Back on you, Matt.
For number 3, most impactful player for Alabama's defense, I have Patrick Surtain. I think he's going in his 3rd year. He's going to be the leader of the secondary. He's going to get everybody lined up. He can play multiple positions. He can play star, money. He can play safety. He can play corner. He can just do it all. So we can move him around the field, sort of how we did with Minka when he was here, and just really have an effective defense, really confusing offensive schemes, offensive coordinators, quarterbacks, to really have an effective defensive scheme against opposing offenses.
This is where we similar for the first time. So you went Patrick Surtain at 3. I got him at 3 myself, and this is a young man that he's finally he's got to come up this year. This is his year to come up. Freshman year was strong. Sophomore year he had some good moments, but some moments where you kind of were like, is he going to jump up a bit more? So year 3 would be his year to jump up a bit more and prove that, I'm a first-team All-American. I'm a first-team All-SEC. I'm a guy that can potentially maybe pull in a Thorpe Award. So, Patrick Surtain II would be my 3rd guy. So moving on down to number 2, I'll go first for number 2. And I've got Christian Barmore as my number 2 most important, impactful player. In limited action, we all saw what Barmore did. He's been working since the Citrus Bowl. He has not stopped, coronavirus or not. Nothing is keeping Barmore from getting out there, working with his guys, and showing how this year, with more action, more opportunities, more chances to see the field, this guy is going to explode and really take people by storm on that defensive line this upcoming season. Number 2, I've got Christian Barmore.
Well, I guess great minds think alike, because I have Christian Barmore for number 2 as well. I just think, him having another year under his belt, he's such a tone setter, and he plays with so much high energy. I think Bama fans just are drawn to him, his emotion, his passion, always playing through the whistle, very physical, has great instincts. I think a year on his belt, he's going to get better in the classroom, working on his technique, being better conditioned, better discipline, and having the mental focus to really be an effective, impactful defensive player up front for our defense.
And at number 1 here, Matt, I think this goes without saying. We both kind of look at the same guy or are looking at the same guy, and that's Dylan Moses. Of course, you brought him up earlier as this is the guy that, if Alabama would have had him last year, a lot of things would have been much differently on defense, having that guy that's played a lot of football, that has done a lot of communication, that knows, when to set things up, why to set things up, how to set things up, and the importance of doing, all of these things. And, having him back, it makes everybody else on the team more so relaxed, more so calm, more so focused, because, we got the guy. Like the guy to be the nucleus of this team is back. Nobody has to overcompensate because he's not there. So having Dylan back, it solves a lot of issues.
You're right. And that's who I have as number 1 as well, as Dylan Moses. I think him coming back is going to be that much more hungry this year. He brings so much leadership. He's going to be the quarterback of the defense, as I mentioned earlier. I believe he's going to be more cerebral. He had a time to kind of watch the game from the sideline, kind of be in the coach's room and kind of pick their brains. He's so athletic, he's strong, he's fast, he's smart, and he's going to be kind of like a coach on the field, just getting our defense lined up, really confusing offenses, and I think he's going to have such a great impact this year on Alabama's defense.
Looking forward to watching the Crimson Tide take the field this season. Hopefully we can get some summer practices in here, some summer work, some fall camps, so that way we can really get out there and watch the Crimson Tide and look for national championship number 18 for Coach Saban. This is what he's trying for his 7th overall to surpass the great legendary Coach Paul Bear Bryant. But as always, every Wednesday, we're graciously joined via the phone lines by former Alabama wide receiver Matt Caddell. And Matt, as always, man, we appreciate the time, you coming on, talking Tide football, having these discussions. As always, man, you stay safe, be good out there.
Thanks for having me, and always roll Tide.
Always fun having Matt Caddell here on the show talking the Crimson Tide. But we're going to take another break here, folks, because when we come back, we're unpacking more of your phone calls, your tweets, your texts, your chats, your viewpoints. 205-448-1358. 205-448-1358. We want to hear from you on your favorite program, the Alabama Crimson Tide, after this.
T-Town Menswear in the University Mall in Tuscaloosa. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month, or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.